Our fly tipping has doubled, our shoplifting has doubled, littering in the streets has doubled. That pushed the people not to be happy.
An English person that said to me, this is the ideal foreign job, isn't it? As if to say, well, they ain't got no brains, but we need them.
You're speaking about Eastern European, and every time it's like Bulgarians, Romanians and all other, and like all English, especially Boston, we don't like them.
Could your farm function without immigration? Some of the most valuable agricultural land in Europe surrounds one of Britain's poorest towns. And James Dyson is here using robots to grow strawberries. It also once had the highest murder rate in the country and the largest vote to leave the European Union. Welcome to Boston. It wasn't a surprise when Boston in Lincolnshire voted for Brexit with the highest vote share of anywhere in the UK. The market town had seen immigration at a breakneck pace. The immigrant population of the town increased by 460% between 2004 and 2014. It then multiplied by 10 between 2011 and 2021. The town looks different too. Many locals say they don't recognise the place they've grown up in. Boston had also been crowned the murder capital of the UK, the fattest place in the UK, and the least integrated place in the UK. Titles nowhere would covet. Bostonians were angry and frustrated, and like millions of other angry, frustrated people all over the UK, they thought Brexit was the answer. But since 76% of the town voted to leave the EU, not much has changed. Immigrants still come to the town in record numbers, attracted by the vacancies in Lincolnshire's massive farming industry. And the sense of malaise that Brexit was supposed to relieve remains. And if you don't believe me, you might believe the former mayor of Boston, Anton Danny.
Yes, I used to be the mayor of Boston, the first non-born British mayor of Boston, and the long-serving mayor also.
Can you talk me through the impact of the high levels of immigration on Boston?
Well, lately, the first impact was when the Polish, Lithuanians, Estonians and Latvians came in, and Russians. That was the first impact, and people could deal with it because Boston has recognized a movement of migration from the EU, even from the Portuguese and Spanish, and it has been, but it hasn't had that impact on the town as much as what's happening now. The reason why I'm saying that is because there is an influx of migrants from Romania and Bulgaria, and most of them, they're gypsies. They can't read, they can't write, most of them also. Our fly tipping has doubled, our shoplifting has doubled, littering in the streets has doubled, and that pushed the people not to be happy. So the residents of Boston have felt the impact, and their emotions or their feelings is showing, when they talk to people that they have so many migrants. It's not against migration, but like I say, for these reasons, people do resent migration. I used to be one of the campaigners for Brexit, and I talk to people. Our idea is to gain our country back, is to use the money we send to the EU, we use it here because our infrastructure is not adequate. Now is even worse since 2016.
Are you happy with how it's gone?
No, I'm not very happy. Oh, come on. We're living in what do we call it? It's a chaos. It's not a chaos. It's a mayhem. We're not performing. The government is not going forward. The country is not going forward. Our laws are not adequate for any purpose. If I talk just about Boston, we have problems in schools. We have problems in hospital. The infrastructure, the roads are not adequate for the amount of cars we're having. We have people living in cramped houses. Some houses, they have like 16 people. And as I say, the new influx of migrants from Romania and Bulgaria didn't make it easy. So, like I say, the whole country, basically, we need, it's not what we call, I'm not a computer wizard to say refresh. We can't refresh the country anymore. We have to stop and say enough is enough. And we have to start again from anew.
Eastern European immigration to Boston has been so rapid and fast changing that even the first arrivals have noticed a difference. Lithuanians were among the first to settle in Boston and are now the second largest ethnic group in the town. Daiba came to the UK in 2009. She now works at the community centre, which is a hub for the Lithuanian community. How has Boston changed in the time that you've been here, do you think?
Actually, a lot of like streets changed, a lot of shop closed, nothing left, and a lot of other nationalities come to Boston as well. And I don't think so. It's in like a good side because it's a lot of criminals now in Boston.
Really?
It doesn't feel safe here anymore.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Why don't you feel safe, do you think?
Because it's a lot of murder here. If I could remember, it was last year or 2 years ago, I think so, all news show when a 9-year-old girl just killed over there in the street. Just like that. So it's not nice.
What would you say to somebody who didn't have a good opinion of immigrants necessarily? Someone who didn't like people from Eastern Europe coming and working on farms?
I know what you're meaning. Like you're speaking about Eastern European, and every time it's like Bulgarians, Romanians, and all other. It's because Lithuanian, like Latvian, we most of all speak English. We're working and like all English, especially Boston. We don't like them especially because we all the time working in big groups, like not one people, like 10, sometimes more. We are scared, we never see that before. Probably it's that. I don't think so. It's like Lithuanians, like, you know, or Latvian. We all the time, when in Boston, I mean, we always complaining about them, like Romanians, Bulgarians, all others, you know, because of that.
Yeah, so there isn't necessarily a cohesion between all Eastern European groups. There's differences between.
Sometimes we're thinking like we stolen the jobs, we working like in the factories, we stolen jobs, but it's not true. I was working so many years in factory, and if I could remember, once I working in factory, it was only one English people working on the line, only one in all factory. So yeah, it's not like we stolen the jobs. We just don't want to work on the lines, I mean. If we work in office or somewhere else. It's not like... a lot of time I hear like, we stolen a jobs.
But English people don't want to do those jobs?
Yeah.
Those jobs are available, someone needs to do them?
Yeah, but we don't want. So.
The lands around Boston are some of the most valuable farmland in Europe. Lincolnshire produces 1/8 of the UK's food. Such a large industry requires a ton of labour. But Lincolnshire farmers have lamented how hard it is to fill vacancies on the farm. The work involves long hours and is physically demanding. Many English people just refuse to do it. The solution for years is to recruit Eastern Europeans keen to work, leading to the huge numbers we've seen settling in Boston. But that all might change. This is David. He's a farmer and aspiring YouTuber, heading up the 5th generation of his family farm, where he grows potatoes and other crops. Could your farm function without immigration?
We could, but we need more tech to do it, or more automation to not have them. So in a few years I probably could manage quite well.
Would you be able to tell us what's going on in this machine?
So these ladies here are sorting stones, greens, green potatoes coming out, ugly ones and rots.
Remind me, you were saying you wanted the...
optical sorter.
Yes. What is there any machinery you're particularly looking for to enhance the farm?
I've been looking for a number of years now at optical sorting. I don't like to say it with the ladies there, but to replace the ladies or replace the agency staff element. Because there's only 2, but sometimes you need 4, sometimes 6, sometimes 8, depending on output and what we've got to do.
So what is optical grading?
So it uses ultimately gaming technology to replace the human, and then it can use mechanical means of ejecting that product to save on labour. So it's a case of flicking a switch and turning it on, as opposed to getting Eastern Europeans in.
Is that the way farming is going in the UK?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I think I'll be amongst the first to do it, but I can't wait. Sooner the better.
So what's this
So
machine?
this machine here is putting them back into boxes.
Yeah.
And we have this to minimise on labour. So it fills the boxes to a preset weight, drops it in such a way the potatoes don't get crushed by the next box. So it's quite a rare machine. Most box fillers don't do that. So it fills exactly the right weight, optimally, with the least amount of human intervention.
So that machine, you say to save on labour. How
Yeah.
much in labour costs would that save you?
It is a man a year, so I don't want to say what a man is because each man is on different salaries, but yeah, just a man. really.
Someone's salary
Yeah.
that saves you a year.
In the workshop we were just in, there's lots of machines that do the job that someone used to do. So there's kind of people's jobs are being replaced by machinery. Are you concerned about that?
No, because people who worked in the workshop and worked on the farm are getting less and less, and that's not because they've been replaced by a machinery. We had to find a machinery to replace them, because now people go in big cities and they go to college, uni, and they just, they stay over there. They find someone from Bourne that goes to college in, let's say, Birmingham, and he finds a job there, normally stays there. And being young, 20 years old, you don't have nothing to come home for. And normally you have to find a machine that replaces a man's job.
So it's less people are being replaced, it's that people aren't there to do the jobs.
Yes.
You're quite unusual in that you're English and you're doing this job. Why do you think so few English people do this job?
Because they think all the foreign people want our jobs, but they don't. I think foreign people, whichever nationality, got bad press when they first come here. And all the English, they used to do all these jobs, and they did. I mean, I didn't do these jobs then, but the English did do them. They said, we're not working for the money that they're going to be getting. Let them do it. This is when it first happened. And then other people, they've either moved off this type of work or they've gone on to retire. But in general, I still think English about foreign labour are poor, to be quite honest. I love working with them.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
What do you like about it?
I like the culture. Everyone's got a different culture. All I can speak is English, which is sad, whereas they can speak quite a few nationalities. But you know what? You'll often find, because I've just been working in a nursery, and a nursery such as with flowers, plants, and someone had said to me the other day, it was an English person that said to me, this is the ideal foreign job, isn't it? I went, oh. He's English, by the way, this man.
What did you think he meant by that?
I took it that, well, let them do it, because no bugger else wants to do it. Sorry about language, I know you'll edit this. But I don't know, there's not many English people on that actual job. And you're lucky if you can communicate. Some you can, some you can't. But I'll always give it a go. But I just thought, what a comment to make. This is just made for the foreigners, this job. As if to say, well, they ain't got no brains, but we need them. They'll do it. Yeah, we'll pay them. You know, they'll pay the tax and stamp, but I just didn't think it was right.
In the workshop we were working in, there's lots of machines that now do the job that someone used to do.
That's true, yeah.
Is that something that worries you, that idea?
Well, in 9 years' time, mate, I'm going to be retiring, so possibly not, but for the younger generation, yes, it does. Because that machine doesn't get paid. That family needs paying. That's what bothers me.
there are lots of Eastern European people who come to fill the roles on farms like this, that people need doing. They fill a role in the society, and also people need to work on these farms. If there are fewer jobs on farms available, what do you think would happen?
If they came over, I don't think there'd be a job to do. I mean, it's changing. I can't speak for people there, but from what I've heard, instead of sort of selecting produce in the field, they'll be almost combining the produce up and then sorting it back in the factory.
Right.
And it'll halve the need for their labour, I'm sure.
Gosh.
Easy.
And that would have a big...
It's happening now, I think.
And that would be a massive demographic change in Boston.
Yeah, because, I mean, ultimately, they can't get the staff. So, yeah, I mean, 2 years ago when I wanted to grade, I couldn't get any staff. I'd book agency staff. I'd book 4. Some days I'd get none.
Gosh.
So I was there on my own doing 4 people's job because I had to get on, and I was totally out of my depth. But
I think
couldn't do anything.
I think is it fair to say that there's a balance between the mechanisation and the automatisation of it? Is it's foolproof because the machine's not going to turn up. There's some, if you're relying on agency staff or kind of people who aren't willing to come here all the time, or they might get a better offer.
I think the agency providers, they're quite a canny bunch. They find ways of getting staff to us. I don't know how they do it, but it's their job, I suppose. So it's not a problem now. And actually, I do know, particularly, I'm getting the same ladies back, and I never normally get the same ladies because a lot of the greenhouses towards Spalding, they're dormant. They're not even getting used. So I know things are changing they're packed up, so things are changing.
For years, Boston has been the UK writ small. The massive shifts in economics, immigration, farming are bigger here, due to its unique shifting demographics. When British farming needed immigrant workers, Boston felt the brunt of it, with the town unrecognisable to many who grew up here. But if what David says about British farming is true, we might see Brexit Boston's denouement. If all the farm labour is replaced by machines, then there won't be any work for anyone, never mind Eastern Europeans. And then Boston might be different. Different, but not necessarily better. The locals might get their town back. But if Brexit has taught them anything, it's to be careful what they wish for.